Messed it all up.
Oh, I can see you all now. You can't hide behind that lecture. I don't care if it's clear. I don't like it. I don't like to be behind. Oh, there I am. So, thank you. Thank you for being here and having me speak today. I appreciate it. There's a few new faces that don't know me real well, but my name is Roger Harvey. And I've been going to church here for over 30 years, which is, I was amazed at that. One of the reasons I know that is this is the shirt I got and tie I got married in. And I've been married for 30 some years. So it's kind of it's purple. My wife's got purple. I even put on a purple butterfly for her today. But we've been hearing about the one power here for a month, and I diligently took notes. I really did. All three of you I took notes from. But as anytime I've learned that when you're hearing something, you may hear something other than what they said. But I have a couple things that I want to share with you about what these people said. I got to get it in the right order. Oh, if I turn it over, it will be in the right order. And I have to be able to read it. So, but boy, you guys have gone away altogether now. One of the things that Jeff started out with talking about, he says, it takes work to come into alignment with the Christ within, with God, with that one power. And that is so true. We all have to work at our spiritual practice, whatever it is, whether it's prayer and meditation, whether it's a walking meditation, whether it's reading books on spiritual information, going to workshops. It's all a part of our growth. And it's work. That's the only way to do it. It just may sound silly to everybody here, but you notice I rolled up my sleeves and took my jacket off because I went to work. I didn't realize I was doing that until but I've done this every time I've ever spoken, that I feel that this is work and it's important work. And it was unconscious up until about this time, sometime last week, but it is work. He goes on, Jeff went on to say, we lose our power when we are less than our true selves. This happens when we claim we are not enough, not smart enough, not good enough, when we see ourselves as less than. That's so big a thing. To think that somehow we are not worthy of being divine children of God. It is something that is pervasive in our culture. I don't know about worldwide, but I do know that's true for this country. You know, I think Nancy and I went to Lutheran churches, and my wife went to a Catholic church. But I remember in the Green Book, page 56, it just says right there, you are not worthy. And that is such a crime. And the same thing with the Catholic Church. It's such a crime to tell people that they're not worthy of God's love, something that there's nothing you can do to get rid of. There's nothing you can do to throw it away. You cannot take it, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Because of my little incident with my health here recently, I ended up seeing a psychologist. He is a jerk. He's always calling me on things which I don't appreciate. But one of the things we were talking about, he said something about a gift. And I said, it's grace. He said, oh no, it can't be grace. And I stood up and I walked to him and I stood in front of him and I said, it's grace. You don't have to take it, but it's grace. That's the truth. It's ever present all the time. God's love, God's grace, it's right here, right now. And our problem is, do we take it or do we not take it? So that's what we learned from Jeff. Anyway, that's what I learned from Jeff. And then there was Miss Evie O'Leary Bennett. She reminded us that this power is not the Father God power, but it's the Mother Father God power. That the divine feminine is an important part of the whole process. Even when Charles Fillmore talks about the power of the mind, he says the power of the mind is a male thing, an energy, but the heart is the female energy. And the mind generates ideas, but the heart, the love, is what manifests them. And you can't have one without the other. God is whole. This part of God isn't here. The whole God is here. Both the feminine and the male and the female aspects of God. The love and the understanding, the mind and wisdom. So that was really important reminder for me to keep that in mind. And then last Sunday when, two Sundays ago when she spoke, she had listened to a YouTube video before she came to church by Patricia Calderobras. And in that, she heard this, I call it a call or a prayer, but it's a call for healing. And it says, transmute by the sacred fire, all cause and cords not of God's desire. I'm a being of cause alone, that cause is love of the sacred tone. And you're to repeat that 7 times. And you call all in this sacred fire to heal you. Be careful of what you wish for. In my little incident with my health, I believe it began because at the Radiant Rose Academy, they had this call for the sacred fire to come in to heal you. And Lavinia Lozano sang that thing. And it takes about 10 minutes to listen to and to sing it. And I started doing that long before I got sick. Twice a day. And then I got sick. And then I had an opportunity to learn something and to give up a bunch of stuff, taking better care of my physical health, but also getting to see the psychologist. And looking at those things that have been imposed upon me, I've learned that my younger brother and I saw him as the smart brother. And he was the most popular brother by far, but he was the smart brother. But in conversations with him in this last year, he said, no, you were the smart brother. I said, no, you were, look at all those classes you took and all those people you helped at college. He says, no, I didn't do that. And he says, but you were the smart brother. We have always decided we were number 2. We were less than. We weren't as good as each other even. We were less than. When you do something like this, and I have copies for anybody who's here who would like to try and do this. It says repeat it 7 times, but it's such a lovely thing to say. It just comes right off your tongue. But when you invite God into your life to heal you, please don't complain about how bad it hurts. Because it really did hurt physically for me. And I'm still in the process. And I feel so much better than I did when I started. But once again, transmute by the sacred fire, all cause and cords of God, not of God's desire. I'm a being of cause alone, that causes love, the sacred tone. And last but not least, Michael Bouchard told us that love is as life is a journey out of releasing the notion that we are separate from God. That sounds like it's hard work to me. The idea that we are a part of God. That's something that I don't know how many times you've said that, Michael, but you said it at least once or twice every time you've ever spoken. So I truly appreciate that. And it's something that I've tried to grasp. That how can we all be individual and at the same time be the same thing? And I've come up with two analogies. Has anybody ever seen what happens to safety glass when it gets hit with a rock? It's just, and then it all stands there, but there's 1,000 little pieces of it. There's just 1,000. But if you think about that, that God is that larger piece of plate glass, and it hits the rock and shatters, and there we are out in the world doing our job. Or if you take those little, you've seen those little light things that you put a light at the bottom, that tubes carry up the light and sparkle out at the end of the thing. That's another way for me to see it as there is a source and there are these other things. The important part is that everybody matters. Everybody matters. We have something to do in this world. I have no idea what it is for me. And I don't have any idea what it is for any of you, but I do believe it, that you're here for a purpose. And in that purpose, you will find your life. It is just, that's just true for me. He went on to say, yep, got the right place. He said, we have to open to the power of love and let go of duality and claim our holy selves, the Christ within each of us. That's the same thing as that Jeff said, that holy piece of us has to be claimed. It's just part of the deal. We are divine children of God. We're not here and we go away. We have friends that, Louise and I have friends that say, oh, when you're done, you're just worm dust. And it's no point telling them no. It's going to be one of those places that they're going to have to figure that out for themselves. So we are holy beings, all of us, no matter. And the tenets of the church say, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. Everyone. We don't get to take it away from anybody. It does not matter who they are, what they do, what they think. Just like grace, they are children of God, whether the knowledge is there or not. They are. And the sooner we can accept that, the better we can be in being in the world with them. And it's hard work. If you've been here before, you know that I really, really like the tenets of this church, or the principles, as Linda would prefer me to say. I like the word tenets. It's stronger. God is all good, present in everything, everywhere. Everything, everywhere. If you think about the Big Bang, if God was the only thing that was present and then the Big Bang happened, what's the Big Bang? It's God. What's left out there? It's God spread out all over. Everything's God. That's really hard to fathom for me. But I keep trying to see that as the truth. I'm a little slow, but I really do believe it's true, that we are truly just a part of this much bigger thing. This power that we call, whether we call it love or compassion or understanding or joy, we are a part of that. And the beauty of the tenets is they actually give us a blueprint to examine that. God is all good everywhere. I am good. You are good. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I come in conscious contact with God and bring out the good in my life. Isn't that cool? You go someplace, where else would they tell you, hey, you can contact God. Put in a phone call. I love somebody's once said, well, what's prayer and meditation? Well, prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when you shut up. I'm not really good at shutting up, so I'm still learning how to do that in my meditation time in the morning. But it's getting better. It is. I just wish the phone call would connect better, so I would go from that place of faith to the place of knowing, which I think is the journey we're on. The other thing that's really, really important is this idea of we create our lives by what we choose to think, feel, and believe. I'm going to tell you right now, if you can drop all the other stuff and just read the first couple words. By what I choose. Everything you choose is your decision, or not to do is still a decision. It's something that we have in common with each other and is always there. It's the grace of God everywhere. You make a decision, I'm going to stand here. No, I think I should stand here, make her move that thing over here. No, I'm going to go back here. Those are decisions that I can make in the moment, and I can change in the next breath. That's grace. That's God's listening to us saying, oh, you want that? Sure, here it is. Well, I've changed my mind. I don't really want to have, oh. This was a hard change to say, please give me, no thumb came back yet. But what the hell, I got a little short one. It doesn't matter. That choice I made in that situation where I lost it was a choice I made. It's done, it's gone. We are evolving all the time as a church, as individuals. Every time you come and listen to me speak, or Jeff speak, or everybody speak, you're getting new information. You're not getting information that was singular, but you're getting information from a lot of points of view. There's a little bitty book called Mr. God, This is Anna. Has anybody ever seen this little book? Well, in this book, this little street urchin in England and London is befriended by a man named Sven, and they have adventures. But Sven makes her a little box. It's a several-sided box of mirrors looking inward, and a mirror on top and mirroring out. So you all see, it's on the outside, but all you see is gray. And he puts a little candle in there, and he takes some acetone and he covers it off. And when you look into it, because everything's looking back and forth, it's an infinite number of candles going one direction and an infinite number of candles going the other. And Anna looks up at Sven and says, oh, this is just like God. And he says, well, how is it just like God, Anna? And he says, God has a point. God, we have a point of view. God has many viewing points, and we are those points that are bringing into God's consciousness our experience. I really want you to know that this church is evolving. Especially the first thing I want to tell you is that when we lost our last minister, what did we choose to do? Not to have one, to have let us be responsible for our own spiritual growth. Let people come in and speak their truth, and then you get to decide if it's worthy of you or not. But we took responsibility for our own spiritual growth. That clock can't be right. Oh, good, because I still have 20 minutes. But even with our prayers, everybody needs somebody to talk to. Everybody needs somebody to assure them. So Linda went and got training as a prayer chaplain so she could train other prayer chaplains. And ever since then, if you want a call from your prayer chaplain, you get one once a month, and you can pour out and tell them what you need to tell them so that you can have prayer for that. We also have a prayer circle, but the prayer circle was there before, correct, Linda? Yeah. And this was an evolving part of that to meet the needs of this community. When one other member of this church went to, I think it was just a meeting someplace at another Unity church, they read the tenets or the principles of unity in their church service. And she came home and said, we should do that. And we did. And that, what do you call that when a song gets in your head, a worm, airworm or a music worm, it goes over and over and over and you can't get rid of it? That's what we're doing by saying the tenets every month, every time we meet as a church. God is all good, present in everything, everywhere. I'm naturally good because God's good is in me. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I make conscious contact with God. I bring the good out in my life. I create my life what I choose to think, feel, and believe. Here's the most important one. I do my best by living the truth. I know I make a difference. That's so important because it says, whatever you're doing is good enough that you're going to, but by saying those things over and over again, they get into our minds. And in a few minutes, we're going to do the prayer for protection. Now, did you first put those words in between at one of your talks, Nancy? No. Was it Linda? Was it Susan Gum? Somebody brought and put those words in between. They're so important because we were affirming that stuff before, that there was power and presence and protection. We're claiming it now. I am the power. I am the presence. It fills us up in a different way. It pulls us forward into the truth of who we truly are. It is God's gift to us to grow. Good old Charles Filmer says that we're always growing, spiraling upward and outward towards God. It's always upward. No matter what it looks like in the rest of the world, we are evolving spiritually. The one power, the power of God. You can define that as love, joy, peace, understanding, wisdom, on and on and on. Radiant Rose Academy has 144 qualities of love. All of those things. But the most important thing is that that's a part of who we are. And I want to read you a couple things that Charles says about these things. Now, if anybody's any doubt, do you guys know what these things are? They're page markers. I had all those in books. And I didn't knock all the places where Charles talked about power, but I just wanted to show you I did my homework. But I just want to read a couple things for you so you can hear what Charles actually has to say about power. No person demonstrates his God-given powers in even a small way, but that he helps others do the same. Did you hear that? Every time you act out in love, somebody sees it. Somebody is moved by it. You are making a difference. We say that at the end of the thing. I make a difference. That's how you're doing it. No person ever demonstrates his God-given powers in even a small way, but he helps others do the same. That's profound. It's something where whether you know you're doing it or not, it's actually doing it. It's gravity in that sense. We may never, ever see what happens. You know, you've heard the story that the minister who is a circuit minister, and he's going, hey, he does all these revivals and things. And every time he has an altar call, nobody comes forward because he's such a crappy preacher. But finally, one guy comes forward, and it turns out to be Billy Graham or someone like that, somebody who has tremendous power. So his one conversion had a horrendous amount, or tremendous, I'll use the word tremendous about. I do not know if that was a Freudian slip or not, but a tremendous amount of power in the world. So know that's you. That's what you're doing. God is power. God is power. Man is powerful. God is the indescribable reservoir of storative energy that manifests no potentiality whatsoever until set in motion through the consciousness of man. All that God is just this huge reservoir. And it'd be like a, Libby Dam or someplace like that, some great big dam with great big turbines, and nobody runs any water through the turbines. But without the water going through the turbines, there's no power. God's coming into this world comes through each and every one of us. It is the truth. We make conscious contact with God and bring out the good in our lives, but we also bring that out for other people to see and hear and feel. That's so important that we understand that we're part of this, a big part of it. Okay. See, these little page markers work pretty well, don't they? We exist right in the midst of forces that would yield us power to do all our work if we knew how to conserve and properly utilize this energy. If we could utilize this energy constructively, it would restore the body, illumine the mind, and establish us as lasting consciousness of dominion and mastery. Dominion and mastery are two of the words in Linda Marcella Witzett's book that describes power. That in this growing in connection to God, we become bigger and bigger conduits of it. I think that anybody who here is a prayer chaplain has experienced that change in themselves. The more you pray with other people, the more you pray for yourself, the greater change it brings to your life. It's just the way it works. It's work. It's work. It's hard work because we have to step into it and do something. You have to choose. We all have to choose. And it is a choice we make every day with every breath we take. It is so cool. Okay, this is the last one. And it's short. What we want, and actually, we want an actually overcoming power of Christ. We want the actual overcoming power of Christ. That's what we're talking about here. Coming into our power, coming into who we truly are, knowing the truth of ourselves. You are not unworthy. You're plenty smart enough, you're good enough looking, whatever it is that you want to say, I'm not, you are. You are children of a living God. You are the power, peace, joy, and understanding that is in the world. The one power, the truth of who you truly are. The truth, now here's the hard one. The truth of who I am. That's hard to say that. Because I can speak all those words, but if I don't claim them for myself, I'm a big, what's that, clanging cymbal and a flacky whatever, I'm just making noise. It's hard work. And it's also fills us with joy, understanding, compassion to bring into the world. In a minute, we're going to read the prayer for protection. And when we do, I want you to say those things with power, those other statements. I am the presence, or we are the presence, whatever it is on the thing, I can't remember. But say it with a little power. Does that make sense? See if we can claim it for ourselves now. So that's what I have to share with you. I've got a meditation for you. And I had hoped to have the YouTube of these people singing this song, this Stand By Me. And it's by 6 Arab youth. And they're singing in this desert. And They're singing Stand By Me, but it's sung as a call and response. And when I heard it for the first time, I heard these people sing it, not this song. You're going to all recognize the song. But when I heard them sing it, I could hear the call and response. The idea that whether it's us calling to God to stand by us or God calling to us to stand by him. If you want, not you, how I heard it was, if you don't want something, don't stand with me. But if you want something, stand by me. I am here. I am the power. I am the protection, and I grant it to you. So it's going to take a second to make this thing work. So get comfortable.
One, two, three. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, don't you stand by me. Just as I stand by me, you stand by me, just as long as you stand by me. If the sky is not with hope, look upon tumble and fall, tumble and fall. All the mountains should crumble back to the sea. All the mountains should crumble to the sea. I won't cry, I won't cry, I won't cry. Shades it's you. Just to know, just as long as you stay, just as long as you lie, just as long as you stay. So darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me. Just so long, stand by me, you stand by me, just as long as you stand by me. Oh, stand by me. But you stay too long, just as long, just too long, just as long, just as long, stand whenever you're in trouble, just stand by me. Won't you stand by me? Just as I stand by me, you stand by me, just as long as you stand by me. Oh, you stand by me. Just as long stand by me, you stand by me, just as long as you stand by me. Were you able to hear it? The call and response. It touched me so deeply because it came to me from one of my dearest friends from my childhood. And he knew I was having problems and he just sent that to me because he's always on the internet. I don't know where he gets the time. I don't have time.
That is true. I would like for you to stand. We're going to do our prayer for protection. And I'm going to shut this mic off. But I really want us to claim each one of those underlying statements. So. Together.
The light of God surrounds us. We are. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We are.
Thank you. Let's form our circle.